All right, so come here and check this out. In the last lesson, I showed you that harmonic minor off of B flat, but I showed it to you as a box shape. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that first part, and I'm going to show you how to take the octave of that and kind of start moving it up and down the fretboard. So one of the things we would want to look at is we would want to look at the root note. In this case, it's a B flat, but we can make it any note. To make it easier, I'm just going to drop it back to G. So I'm going to drop the whole thing back to G instead of playing this. I'm going to go back 1 fret, 2 frets, 3 frets. Now I'm in the key of G. I think I went back 3 or 4, something like that. But what I'm going to play here, and it's the same shape that we played in the last lesson, if you check that out. If you haven't, go check that out. But it's the same shape we played, but this time instead of playing it in the key of B flat, I'm going to play it in the key of G, and I'm going to play it from the 3rd fret on the 6th string, 3rd, 5th, 6th, 5th string, 3rd, 5th, 6th, and then when I get to the 4th string, I'm going to go ahead and play, instead of playing natural minor, which would be 3-5, I'm going to play 4-5, which will be my harmonic minor. So that's harmonic minor in the key of G, or G minor. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and find the octave of the G. This is one of the things that it's good to be able to do, but it's not necessarily good. Some people would disagree with me about this, but I don't think it's necessarily good to be able to know exactly where every single G is, but it's good to be able to find every single G, right? Like that, and then keep on going and be able to find the next set of G's as well. And the reason you want to be able to do that is because each one of those would start that shape, right? And the cool thing is the last note that I'm playing, that right there is the octave, because it's a 7-note scale, and that's your 8th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm already back. So I can start right there and play that same shape again. And I can start right there, play that same shape again. And I'll show you something right there, a little trick in just a second, that'll help you come back to the 6th string and keep on going. Right there. So that basically that's what you're looking for, and allows you to go up and down the fretboard. Now there's more to it than that. I could play the entire box shape that I showed you in the last one. I could make this into a 3-note per string shape, make it a whole lot easier, and go up and down the fretboard. But this just gives you a piece of the puzzle to help you understand, okay, I can take this shape and I can move it all over the place. And then you can start mapping out where the rest of it is, because again, it's just going to be those 7 notes repeated over and over and over again, which makes it a whole lot easier to just find the shapes just up and down the fretboard, back and forth. This gives you some anchors basically to anchor back and forth, and gives you that harmonic minor note. So it gives you that and allows you to start moving things back and forth, which is really cool. So what you want to do is, I'll show you that little trick in just a second, but what you want to do is kind of map out the first one. We end on the 5th fret of the 4th string, and that's going to be our octave, our beginning again. So we're going to go ahead and play 5, 7, 8, 3rd string 5, 7, 8, 2nd string is going to be 7, 8. Our next octave is going to start on that 8th fret of the 2nd string, and we're going to play 8, 10, 11, and then on the 1st string, 8, 10, 11. Now here's that little trick I was talking about. Whatever you play on the 1st string, oftentimes in box shapes, you're going to go back to the 6th string and play the same thing. So we have 2 of these. I think of these in my free course over at Just Pick Up the Guitar and Go. I teach these as anchor shapes. I call them the 1, 3, 4 patterns, because we're playing with my 1st finger, my 3rd finger, my pinky, or 1st, 3rd, 4th, right? And we're playing with those 3 fingers. I can use those to anchor me back to pretty much any of these shapes. And it works with your major scale and all the modes of your major scale. It links them together like puzzle pieces. But it also works really well with the harmonic minor as well, because the harmonic minor is only really one note that's a little bit different. So check out the free course if you want to understand that a little bit better. It's what I call the anchor shapes, and that's over at justpickuptheguitarandgo.com. So we have this, and I have two of those. So that since the second one there is being played on the first string at 8, 10, 11, I can go back and I can play 8, 10, 11 on the sixth string. And then since it's my second one, then the next thing would be the harmonic minor note and my root note. So I'd play on the fifth string right there at the 9 and 10. Which means that the 10th fret on the fifth string is now my root, my beginning again, and I can play 10, 12, 13, and then on the fourth string 10, 12, 13, and then my harmonic minor note and my root at the third string 11, 12. So now my root's on the third string at 12, so we can play 12, 14, 15, 13, 15, 16 on the second string, and now my root is going to be at the 15th fret on the first string, so my harmonic minor will be on the 14th fret, 14, 15. And right there, we have your root right there on the first string, so we play 15, 17, 18, which means I can play the 15, 17, 18 on the sixth string as well. And that's really the octave of what I played at the third fret. Same thing, 15, 17, 18, 15, 17, 18, 16, 17. And I can keep on going. Right there. And I can back it up to the sixth string again and use that octave trick that I showed you. So you can go all the way up. I messed up there. And that gives you a way to be able to move these shapes up and down. Mapping out the rest of the shape, you go ahead and of course play all the way up and down the fretboard with the whole shape, right? Now, if you want to know that, I'm not going to put it in this lesson, but I do have a Patreon out there. It's over at patreon.com/justpickuptheguitarandgo. And if you get my free course over at justpickuptheguitarandgo.com, then of course, whenever I put out a Patreon lesson, I'll let you know that it's out there. But if you want to check out that Patreon lesson, it's over the harmonic minor. And what I do is I go ahead and start with the G major scale. I go through all the modes of the G major scale. Then I go through all the modes. I take that G major scale. I show you that it has a relative of E minor. And I take the E minor scale. I show you the E harmonic minor. And then I show you how all the modes of the G major scale can be transformed to harmonic minor just by changing that one note. Each scale pattern looks a little bit different, or each degree looks a little bit different. But I break it down, and I got tabs for it and all kinds of stuff. It's like 10 pages worth of tabs. So if you want to check that out, it'll really help you understand the harmonic minor. And that, of course, is one of my paid courses that I have over at Just Pick Up the Guitar and Go on my Patreon. So patreon.com/justpickuptheguitarandgo. But the free course, the tabs for this lesson are going to be over at justpickuptheguitarandgo.com. And when you sign up there, you'll get that free course. Helps you unlock the fretboard, connect shapes together like puzzle pieces, help you understand how to play all up and down the fretboard. See the fretboard is circular, see the scale patterns is circular. It's got all kinds of cool stuff in there. My brain thinks about it a little bit differently because I'm crazy, I guess. And I see theory as kind of convoluted and overcomplicated. And I'm like, let's make this a little more simple to help us guitar players who really just want to pick up the guitar and go, right? Help us be able to play and help us understand that a little bit better. Because there's tons and tons and tons of virtuosos out there who are just, playing the guitar like crazy and they're doing an awesome job. But not all of us are in that boat, and a lot of us just want to be able to pick up the thing and be able to understand it a little bit better. And that's why I put this stuff out there. Free course, tabs for this lesson. Go check it out, and I'll see you in the next one.